It's like I don't know how somebody can do a crime against me and then it makes it hard for me to find work. I don't know how something can happen where the police department completely failed to do their job and things got so out of hand and I bear the weight of what's going on. So not only is there the trauma of what happened to me, not only is it that I didn't get any help, not only did the police department take all of my legal documents from me, not only did I fall behind on all of my bills, but now it's also hard to find work. You try to remedy certain situations and allow things to be handled a certain way, but it's like at what point is like go get a lawsuit like the thing you need? Like at what point do I go and get a lawsuit against people? At what point is my anger rationalized? How do I go to the police department for help and you leave me stranded in Queens? I run back into my neighborhood, well, into Harlem, and then get kidnapped and raped, which was the thing I was telling y'all they were coming after me to do. And you just let it happen. You see how like the people who were responsible for making sure things like this didn't happen didn't do their job and things just keep spiraling and spiraling and spiraling. They literally said, and what do you expect us to do about that? We can't get involved until a crime is committed. The crime was mute. So I was supposed to go through those three things before you stepped in and helped. And then it did happen to me and you didn't step in and help. At what point is my anger justified? I still don't have my legal documents back. They have my birth certificate, my social security card, so they got my social security number. We already know people thought I had money. I'm this millionaire. So who knows who got my social security number? See how much has happened? My comeback has to be so awesome in this lifetime, bro. You don't just get to get away with doing wrong by people. That only goes and you can only skate on that for so long. At a certain point, it's like enough is enough. This situation is just horrific. And like if I sat here and just put the layers on layers on layers of how much has happened, it's like at what point is this just out of control? You know what I'm saying? With the apartment complex trying to get me to go defraud the government and make them pay. Like I said, I had $2,000 in my account. They stole that, charged an extra $1,000, so $3,004 out of my account, which is way over my rent. And then instead of putting the money back, and when I said, hey, you got to give me my money back, they went and upcharged me an extra $190 and then back charged it from the first day that I moved in here. And then gave me a rent demand statement and then threatened to evict me because I wouldn't go and defraud the government for $3,000. My apartment complex has 750 units. So if you made everybody if you made every one of those units pay $3,000 off of this money laundering thing y'all have going on, that's $2.25 million. And that's not even including the people who have moved out since y'all started and the new tenants who have moved in that you probably did the same thing too. And I had already spoke to a neighbor that said he paid the $3,000 to move in here, which then makes everybody afraid to go speak up and get help because they went and got the money from the government. So not only is it money laundering, but you're defrauding the government. And I was in Queens. The Asian doctor that I had stabbed me with a needle. She stabbed me in my arm with the needle. They took all my stuff from me in the hospital. I wasn't in any trouble. I called the cops for help and dumped all of my stuff in the middle of the floor and went through it and just humiliated me in front of the whole entire waiting room. The officers took a guy who attempted to me and put him at the foot of my bed. He went to the bathroom before he came back and completely cleansed himself and started moving the bed out of the way. There was another guy in the waiting room across from me staring at me throughout the glass, and they had to get him to leave. I was in complete danger, and they left me there. And then they moved me to a more secure side, and there were people in there too. And then the lady, the black lady that works behind the office, falsified a report and said she found psychosis and a weed disorder. I never spoke to a doctor. And when I told her to explain, well, what did you base your findings on? They kicked me out and just left me stranded. And that's when I ran into my ex, and he said that somebody paid him to hurt me already, and he spent that money and they about to kill me. When he was talking on the phone, and I walked up behind him, behind his back. And I had a face mask on, but his face was exposed. And when I went to go get the second teaching job, how about the doctor's office that I had over here that deliberately wouldn't complete the onboarding process? All of the shots that I needed, they wouldn't give it to me. They'll make me come in, get the shots, fill out the documents, and wouldn't fill out the whole paperwork. I would leave, go take it in, and the office would say, oh, they didn't do this part right here. And I would have to go back to them again. Hey, they said you didn't do this part. Oh, we're going to see. We're going to give you that. Okay, they give me those shots. I'll go back to them. Oh, they didn't do this part. They kept doing it. So I was deliberately messed out of that. Or what about the first school I was working for out here who had a parent come into the cafeteria during dismissal and threatened to fight me in front of all of my students because I told her daughter that it was not okay for her to throw scissors across the classroom. She almost sliced the little boy in his face because another little girl threw a piece of paper that landed in the middle of the classroom and didn't go anywhere near her. But I guess she said because it was going towards her, she had a right to throw scissors across my classroom. I wrote it up. They didn't reprimand the student. They reprimanded me and took me out the classroom. Didn't reprimand the mother. How about being told that I'm being too strict because I wouldn't allow my children to listen to Sexy Red in the classroom? Give me head, give me top. That's about a man performing for a woman. And I was left alone severely. It was me and a co-teacher. It was two of us in the classroom. They kept taking him out of the classroom and having him put up art supplies in the hallway and leaving me alone with all of those kids. New York City has done so much to me. At what point is enough enough? It's like, at what point do you I can't. And then it's so funny because I had two cases. Why they took one of my cases and threw it out? Why was it the case where the police officers falsified the report also and said I took something and moved it from one place to another? Never happened. And then when I went and got fingerprints done, they sprayed my fingerprints with water before putting it on the machine and smushed it like this, so it wouldn't show my fingerprints. So they were going to let me get and then say that I never came into their office? Or what about the fact that they updated the system from me being 101 pounds when I got arrested to updating and saying I was 125 pounds? I'm doing my best. But so much has been done wrong to me. So much that I do not deserve, and I did not deserve. I'm not embarrassed. I'm not on the ground. At this point, I'm just speaking. It just is what it is. It just is what it is. Some of y'all, that's what y'all wanted. Good for you. I'm not going to cry because you're wicked. And others of you just trying to cover your butt because you linked up and joined in on something you shouldn't have joined in on, because you're not the judge, the jury, and the executioner. That's why it's your job to step in and make sure you do proper investigations and make sure of something before you link up and leave somebody for dead because you believed a rumor. And why is it that when I was getting my case heard in the Supreme Court, as soon as I started talking about the police department, how they took all my documents, they dismissed it and removed me out of the courtroom immediately? This is wrong. Too much has happened to me that's wrong. I am so over it. I'm so over it at this point. It is what it is. It is what it is. It is what it is. You come around me, you have the wrong motives, I'm documenting you and I'm putting you out there too. So stay away from me, respectfully. I don't have anything to say. Y'all did so wrong. Not only to me, but y'all failed your kids as parents when you tried to sell them out. Half of y'all walk in this world attempted. That's your portion. Welcome it to your bloodline, booze. There's always an equivalent.